Parker Thune on Locked In.
Sooner fans, show your Sooner pride. Crafted for SEC competition. Every OU fan should own a piece of Sooner magic. Made in America, like it should be. Get your official on-field OU football today.
Sooner Nation days at 7:45 a.m. and Thursdays at 4:45 p.m. exclusively on the Ref. Download the KREF app to listen from anywhere.
Check it out.
Are you looking for a better way to sell farm, construction, or fleet equipment? Purple Wave Auction takes the hassle out of selling heavy equipment. Our experienced auction professionals make the entire process easy, and we'll market each asset not just to our enormous equipment buying community, but specifically to the right bidders who are eager to purchase your specific assets. We'll handle the paperwork and payments so you can get back to running your business. Join the growing list of happy sellers who don't just sell but succeed with Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
The Showplace Theater at Riverwind is your best bet.
And with some of the best acts around, like Goo Goo Dolls, September 5th. Penn and Teller, September 6th. Cole Swindell, September 20th. And Jamie Johnson, September 26th. Riverwind, the Metro's best casino experience.
There are trucks, then there's the truck. GMC Sierra, with available features like the V8 engine, the ultimate luxury interior, and of course, the available world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra, not just any truck, the truck. GMC's continued commitment to professional-grade engineering is on full display at your Oklahoma GMC dealers. Come take a test drive today and see for yourself. We are professional-grade GMC.
Love to fish and want to honor Toby's legacy at the same time? The Toby Keith Foundation is hosting the 6th annual Fish Bowl at Lake Eufaula on September 7th and 8th. Fish Bowl offers a guaranteed $33,000 in payouts, with all proceeds directly benefiting OK Kids Corral. For event details and registration, go to TobyKeithFoundation.org. As little as $100 per day gets you in the event with a chance to take home a great payout. Also, check out our electric golf cart raffle. Tell all your friends and make it the largest Fish Bowl ever.
Attention Westwood Season Pass holders, we have a deal for you. You can start a free 30-day trial membership at the Young Family Athletic Center this August. Present your Westwood Season Pass at the WIFAC front desk and let the fun begin. Your 30-day trial starts when you redeem the offer, and you can enjoy all the basketball, pickleball, volleyball, and swimming you want for 30 days. Don't miss out. This exclusive deal is only available during August. Go to WIFAC.com to learn more about Norman's new state-of-the-art facility.
Hi, I'm Barry Switzer. We have a very important Senate race here in the Sooner Nation, and I'm encouraging you to go out Tuesday and vote for my friend Lisa Standridge. We need a bold and strong leader with true class, and most importantly, Lisa is Sooner born and Sooner bred. Join me and elect a champion. Vote for Lisa Standridge for State Senate.
Vote Lisa Standridge on August 27th, paid for by Lisa Standridge for State Senate 2024.
This is Peggy Doviak, and I opened DM Wealth Management because of a horrible experience that my mother had with a stockbroker. I wanted to give people an alternative, a place they could go to understand their money, to know why investment decisions were made the way they were, and to create a financial plan that would help them meet their goals. Most of all, I wanted to help them plan their prosperity. Call me at 405-329-8884 or dmwealth.com.
The Ref Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510. Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings Studios, it's time to get locked in to the best Sooner recruiting and football news with Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino calling line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
Well, the bad news is no unofficial visits this weekend for OU. Prohibition is back in Oklahoma, I guess, according to the NCAA. Prohibition against unofficial visits during the first game of the 2024 season. Now, the good news, because with bad news, there's normally good news. The good news is that it didn't sound like there were going to be any unofficial visitors in town anyway. So almost a no harm, no foul situation, I guess, if you're looking at it that way, for what the NCAA threw down on DeMarco and OU this afternoon. Oof.
I know of one visitor that was planning on being at the game this Friday, Tyler, and that's Malik Hawkins, who obviously has an older brother that's on the roster now. So fortunately, he won't need to sit in the recruiting section because he'll be able to just go sit with his family.
He'll still be there. I mean, he could just go sit in the stands somewhere.
But I haven't even bothered to even attempt to start stringing together a visitor list over at OUinsider.com because there just isn't one this week. There wasn't one before this ruling, and there certainly isn't one after this ruling. There will be no visits on Friday nights, no unofficial visitors, and there aren't any OVs. Oklahoma's not hosting any OVs this fall yet, to my knowledge. So it'll be a very quiet pregame down there on the field because generally there's a lot of commotion because you'll get dozens upon dozens of recruits and all their families streaming onto the field down there in the south end zone, and it's chaos. All of that will be very conspicuously absent at the opener against Temple. It'll probably feel a little bit weird.
And maybe that was going to be the case even if you played a Saturday afternoon home game. But it is, week 0 in Oklahoma high school football this week, which we've got some games on krefsports.tv that we'll tell you about. But I'm sure the state of Texas and some other states will have high school games going on as well. So they didn't draw it up this way, but if you were to have a weekend where you can't host any unofficial visitors, it's nice that it's your first game of the year when you're already significantly ahead of the change in this 2025 class as it is, and it's a Friday night game where not a whole lot of uncommitted or committed players could make it anyway because they have their own football game.
By the way, there are people in the text line who apparently still haven't gotten the memo about the new clock. Somebody said, y'all better take a pregnancy test because y'all are late.
We'll do that. We'll get Parker to take a pregnancy test during the 4-minute break.
If you're not familiar with the new clock, we are doing 3 breaks an hour now.
Is it 2 lines and you're pregnant or just the 1? I think it's 2, correct?
Yeah,
okay.
2 lines.
I'll let you know what happens.
3 breaks an hour instead of 4. Segments are longer, and the hours start later. So we're going to come on air for Locked In, and at the top of every other hour at about 9 after. And then instead of hitting the clean break at the top of the hour right around 59 or the exact hourly mark, we're going to be concluding the final segment of the show at about 04.
It changes people's habits, listening habits, which can annoy some people. But once we explained yesterday, hey, guys, this is less breaks and more content, I think most people immediately were like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
Except for one texter in the final hour of the rush yesterday that said, this new clock can step on a Lego.
Wow.
Which is like the meanest thing that I think that you could wish on someone, that they would step on a Lego.
That is vicious. Now, to be fair, I do think it would make more sense, at least it does in my head, to have the breaks, as Steely mentioned last hour, at the exact top of the hour and at 20 and at 40. But it's taken some getting used to these first couple of days. You all will get used to it with us.
When Parker's pregnancy test comes back positive, I'm the father, says a texter from the state of Texas.
Okay,
so
now this is
let's
just
go ahead and
getting
get weird, real weird here in
let's
start
talking about football again.
4:05. What's going on with DeMarco? Well, I don't know where he's going to be at on Friday night, but he's not going to be standing on the sidelines because he is suspended for it's the season opener, right? It says suspended for 1 game.
That is correct.
And I would guess it would be the season opener and not like the main game later on in the year. Okay, I mean, this is You're not playing a marquee game in week 1. Would you like to have DeMarco out there? Sure, you'd like to have all hands on deck regardless of who you're playing. But is this going to be some big story that lingers on throughout the year? I just would highly doubt that that's the case. I think we'll talk about it today, a little bit tomorrow, into Thursday and Friday, maybe mention it in the postgame. But after that, I think that this story dies after Friday evening.
As it should. And to those, I know there will be a few. There always are. I don't know why you would be, but there are always a few that are wringing their hands over minutia like this. If you're sitting there wringing your hands over who's going to serve as running backs coach against Temple, I don't have a definitive answer for you, but I would just point out that your new offensive coordinator did play fullback back in the day. So he's familiar with that aspect of the game.
What if I'm just going to go ahead and still predict that OU rushes for over 300 yards on Friday night without their running backs coach on hand? And that's not a small thing either. It's not a small thing, okay? They did not rush for 300 yards one time last year. And before the show, I was trying to find the last time that OU's rushed for over 300 yards in a game, and I've still not found that. I'm about halfway through the 2022 season, and I still can't find that game. So it's been a while since they've rushed for over 300 yards. By God, it's going to happen on Friday night without DeMarco.
What I want is for Gavin Sawchuk to rip off a 75-yard touchdown run, get to the end zone, and lift up his jersey to reveal a DeMarco 7 jersey underneath.
I heard Plank talking about it today, but remember when Orlando Brown carried out the toddler Baker Mayfield jersey when
Yes.
Baker didn't get to be captain on senior day? Let's get a toddler-sized DeMarco Murray jersey out there, the 7 jersey with the team cap. Bauer Sharp, now that he's a captain, can carry it out to the coin toss on Friday night. Yeah, DeMarco won't be there for the season opener, but I got to say, I was very, very proud of most of the fan base's reaction today on social media. It's almost like this news today, we were wearing it as a badge of honor. SEC ready. Hell, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I'd like to hear this from DeMarco, that he's been in the rules a little bit here. Some people took this as a giant compliment that their running backs coach is out for the season opener.
Yeah, it's not very cool, though. It's what I think it was something like 60 calls and 35 texts or something like that. He got slapped on the wrist for making too many calls, sending too many texts. I almost feel like the fans would have gotten more of a kick out of it if, like, I don't know, DeMarco had illegally rented a Lambo for Taylor Tatum's official visit.
Well, and this is funny, and people are willing to make a joke out of it because DeMarco has been doing some big things on the recruiting trail. Like, if we got news about this from Bill Bedenbow 4 weeks ago before he got Fasusi, could you imagine? Hell, he's cheating and he still can't get the big-time prospects. What's going on here? But since DeMarco's doing a nice job in recruiting, then I think we're all out to, make it a nice, fun joke today. But he contacted, according to the NCAA, he contacted 17 prospects over 16 months. So to your point, wasn't going crazy here, including 65 impermissible phone calls and 36 impermissible text messages. Murray indicated that he was not aware that a COVID-19 waiver of recruiting contact rules had expired. Okay, well, slap on the wrist, sit out one game. He'll be back for Houston in week 2.
LC in Newcastle says, concerns me. He said he didn't know about the rule update, but apparently all the coaches were told. I mean, I think DeMarco probably knew.
You think?
I think he probably knew.
Here's your first hot take of the day right there. Kyle and Broken Bow, I'd rather try to tackle Adrian Peterson than Latrell. 35 was a dog. Look, I'm not trying to tackle either Adrian Peterson or Seth Latrell, but Adrian Peterson, I mean, we've seen what he did as a true freshman and even as a sophomore against some players in the open field, right? Or even some that weren't in the open field around the line of scrimmage. I like Seth Latrell too, and I respect him, but given the two circumstances, I don't want to try and tackle AD. No, thank you.
Yeah,
Dude,
I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances with Seth Latrell if given the choice.
One-star Eric the Mets fan, since DeMarco can't coach this game, can he suit up and play instead?
No, DeMarco has exhausted his eligibility. He spent 5 years at OU. So
can run the same offense that they did when he was at OU and hand him the ball, of course, but throw him a ton of swing passes as well. DeMarco was excellent at catching the swing passes.
I mean, hey, maybe DeMarco can just Maybe he can find an alternate identity. Pull a little Bobby Valentine disguise, like Leon Sandcastle. You remember that commercial?
Yeah. So, you know, the emails I get all the time, like, hey, would you like to interview this subject? They were an expert in their given field that has nothing to do with sports whatsoever. If you'd like to hear about the booming population of Trenton, New Jersey, we would love to have this individual on your radio show. I get those emails every single day. Like, I don't mostly read them. But a few years ago, there was one for Bobby Valentine to come on the show, opening day of Major League Baseball. Like,
really?
Yeah. I'm going to get Bobby Valentine on the show. Are you kidding me? So, of course, I asked him about the disguise reference that you just had. And if you don't know, Bobby Valentine, once a manager of the New York Mets, got kicked out of a game, wore one of those disguise, things that you could get at Celebration Station back in the day for 60 tickets. And he kind of stood in the tunnel with that. I asked him that. He's like, why does everyone ask me about that? Well, Bobby, that's what you're known for, man.
Did he ever win a World Series?
Not in New York, he didn't.
Yeah,
I don't think he did in Boston either.
Win a World Series, and then maybe that's not what you're most known for. But when you're the guy that got caught wearing a mask, a fake mustache, and glasses in the dugout, yeah, you can't really be surprised when you're still fielding questions about that a quarter century later.
I like this text from the 918. Could be text of the day. The real question is, what kind of punishment will he have with Schmitty? You think DeMarco's running stadium stats right now?
Stairmaster, big dog.
Stairmaster, big dog? Yeah, we'll see you there. See you there, big dog. Chris and Tulsa, Murray getting busted is a huge nothing burger. Keep laning the dogs at running back, and we're good. And, yeah, I think that's the opinion right now from the majority, if not the entirety, of the fan base. He's going to miss one game. That one game is Temple. And, his position group, you'd like to see them perform very well against Temple, duh. But I think, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I feel better about the running back situation today than I did going into training camp. And not that I felt bad about it going into training camp.
You just think it's a good thing that DeMarco Murray got suspended.
Correct, yes. Yeah. Who's ever coaching the running backs on Friday after they run for over 300 yards? Let's just not change anything up. Just keep it that way throughout the entire season.
Somebody said, Dylan from Tulsa said, I really want BV to make DeMarco honorary captain for the Temple game.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be in the intro video or something like that. It'd be sweet.
Lost City Singer says, DeMarco will be drinking a banana pudding shake and not sweating it one bit.
It is where will he be? Will he be in the locker room? Will he be in a suite? Will he be in his office? Will he be at his house? I don't know. Where's DeMarco Murray going to be? Maybe he'll be sitting next to one of us in the stadium on Friday night. Just buys a ticket off StubHub or something. Heck, I don't know. We got the 12 days of football coming up later on today at 5, and we're giving away 2 tickets to the OU Temple game, courtesy of Fowler Automotive on Thursday. Maybe DeMarco wins the 2 tickets to OU Temple, courtesy of the ref. I don't know. Who knows? I do know if you get thrown out for targeting, I think you can still stay on the sidelines now.
Yes.
But I wouldn't guess that that's the case with him, being suspended for an entire game.
Yeah, I would not imagine that he is allowed to be on the sideline or in the booth or in the locker room for that matter. But I'm sure he can be. And maybe he'll just sit up in his office in the Switzer Center or in BV's office, palatial as it is.
Maybe he'll be calling and texting recruits the entire time. Huh?
That would be hilarious.
Thinking it's still the COVID situation there. Yeah. All right, 405-651-3439 is the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Oh, you got a new player yesterday? I mean, I think that happened right as soon as we got off the air, correct?
That is correct.
But OU got another defensive lineman, Oklahoma City native, from the University of New Mexico. 6'4", 310 pounds. I'm going to guess David Rowaye is probably not going to contribute all that much, but it's at least another body on the D-line.
Another impressive practice squad specimen is what that is, Tyler.
He's a specimen on the practice squad?
He's a specimen on the practice squad. He's the practice squad answer to Dominic Williams, if you prefer.
Well, so you had that, the addition of another defensive lineman, again, Oklahoma City native from New Mexico. Tight end Josh Fanuel has been removed from the roster, so no more there. But, again, still think OU's in a pretty good spot here at tight end. All right, we'll get to the text line next, 405-651-3439. some crootin, and, yeah, you guessed it, some OU football as well right here on the Ref.
Sooner fans, show your Sooner pride. Crafted for SEC competition. Every OU fan should own a piece of Sooner magic. Made in America, like it should be. Get your official on-field OU football today.
Hey Joy, Greg Norman, Grayson, or Turtleson with the OU and Jimmy Austin logo are sure to catch everyone's eye. You don't have to be a golfer to shop at Jimmy Austin. They also do corporate special orders for you and your company. Call them today, 405-325-6716, or visit theougolfclub.com for more information.
Visit Norman encourages you to shop local in Norman this summer. Visit Cayman's on Main Street, your one-stop shopping for men's and women's clothing, accessories, designer jewelry, cosmetics, and home decor. Featuring Peter Millar, Johnny O, Rag & Bone, John Hardy, and much more at Cayman's. For fresh, delicious Italian dining, visit Gabarino's Homestyle Italian. For lunch, dinner, or takeaway, you are guaranteed to get amazing meals from scratch family recipes at Gabarino's. Hit the driving range or play around at the Westwood Golf Course. It's easy to book a tee time online, pick up a bucket of balls, or enjoy the delicious Turn Grill at Westwood Golf Course. When you shop local, you are supporting businesses that give back to community events, schools, sports, and local nonprofits. However you enjoy summer in Norman, remember to eat, shop, and play local.
Looking for a trusted, locally owned and operated roofing company in Oklahoma? Black Thunder Roofing is a top-rated Home Advisor Elite Service Award winner and recipients of multiple Angie Superior Service Awards. They can do it all. Black Thunder also does free inspections and estimates. Locally operated in Norman and Edmond, Black Thunder Roofing serves OKC's metro area south to Purcell, Noble, Blanchard, as well as Yukon, Mustang, Bethany, and Piedmont. Visit blackthunderroofing.com or call 405-473-8028 for your free estimate today.
For 3 generations, the John M. Ireland & Son Funeral Home and Chapel in Morris continued to serve the community by giving back to local schools, charitable organizations, and first responders.
We provide pre-planning for funerals and cremation services at the most reasonable prices.
We are proud to be a family-owned and operated funeral home.
Award-winning funeral home year after year, our family believes in serving the people of our community.
I'm John Ireland.
And I'm Solon Daniels.
You've got our word on it.
Discover the path to sobriety, emotional well-being, and lasting positive change with the Virtue Center, a nonprofit serving Oklahoma since 1972. Specializing in addiction, gambling, and mental health-related services, we offer same-day walk-in screening appointments Monday through Friday and serve ages 12 and up, as well as individual clients or families. Give us a call at 405-321-0022 or visit thevirtuecenter.org to learn more.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
The Mont invites you to come by and enjoy our high-quality food and drinks in our historic atmosphere. The Mont has won numerous awards, including Best Restaurant in Norman, Best Appetizer for our great queso, Best Exotic Drink for the original swirl, the Best Patio Dining for our beautifully landscaped patio. Come see the Town Tavern OU football scoreboards dating back to 1947. We'll see you at the Mont on the corner of Boyd and Classen, or call us at 329-3330.
Locked in with McComas and Thune, live on the Ref. We are the home of Sooner fans. Tyler McComas, Parker Thune, and with OU entering the SEC, we get new Sooner traditions, new teams to root against. Well, your favorite team, of course, is still OU. But another thing that remains the same, the football they use, big game. The Sooners are joining the SEC with a redesigned, handcrafted, and customized Nike Vapor Elite Big Game Football to commemorate their inaugural SEC season, and it can be yours today. BigGameUSA.com/KREF. That's BigGameUSA.com/KREF to get the football that OU is going to use in 3 days and throughout the course of the regular season as well. Player you're most interested to see on Friday? Everyone that's going to suit up, and OU might play more bodies in this game than just about any other game that they're going to play in this year. For me, Javonte Barnes. I want to see if it is different like we've been hearing about all offseason long. Physically, it looks good. Mentally, it feels like he's in a much better place. And no, if he rushes for 150 yards against Temple, I'm not ready to say, there it is. Top 5 back in the SEC. I've seen all I've needed to see here. But it would be very, very beneficial for that guy to get off to a good start after what happened last year.
That it would. My answer is Bauer Sharp. Really, really intrigued to see what Bauer Sharp looks like. And again, I don't know how many balls get thrown his way. I don't know what the offensive game plan is and how prominently it features the tight end. But whenever we do get to see quite a bit of Bauer Sharp in the fullness of his usage at Oklahoma in Seth Luttrell's offense, I'm really intrigued to see what that ends up looking like, because we didn't really get the chance to see it in the spring game. Michael Boganowski tried to take his head off.
Jeez,
and so
I know, man.
That kind of limited our exposure to the Bauer Sharp experience. But if and when we do get that exposure, and hopefully that comes this Friday night, man, strong play from the tight end can open up so many new horizons and opportunities in this offense.
Yeah, and to look way too deep into things for just 1 second, because we're all hoping, right? We're all praying, please let the tight end be more of a factor offensively this year, because we've seen it in the past. I mean, some of the best OU offenses of your lifetime had great tight end play. 1985 season, Keith Jackson is out there at tight end. 2017 season, Mark Andrews is at tight end. Trent Smith with some of those early 2000s offenses, Jermaine Gresham in 2008. You can think back to some of the better offenses of your lifetime, and most if not all had really good tight end play. So we're hoping it could happen. And to look way too deep into things, and here's where I'm at right now, hoping it would happen. Well, if they're going to name Bauer Sharp a captain for game 1, surely he's going to be heavily factored in the passing game this year. Hopefully they just wouldn't make him a captain unless they really plan on utilizing him in the passing game this year. I'm so hopeful I'm even looking to things like who's being named captain.
Generally scrubs are not named captain, right?
Generally.
I can't recall the last scrub captain at Oklahoma.
I mean, he wasn't a scrub, but Austin Seibert was a captain one year.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah. Oh, you had a kicker.
Interesting. Speaking of kicker, you know what Brent Venables should do on the very first drive of the game? Doesn't matter how quickly you get down into Temple territory. You get to about the 35-yard line, stop everything, send the field goal unit out.
So I said yesterday, make sure you're covering the spread first for those of us who might be active on OU minus 42.5. But every drive after that, 3 knees, let's go. Let's see what let's settle the kicker debate Friday night.
And that should be how you settle the kicker competition. Give Tyler Keltner 1 kick from 54, and if he hits it, the job is his. If he misses it, Zach Schmidt season returns.
I don't, I know you're joking there, but to be real for a second, is that maybe a little bit of the situation that we have going into Friday? As long as Tyler Keltner makes field goals on Friday night, he'll be the starter week 2. But I do wonder, how short his leash is this year, especially since it sounds like maybe Schmidt had the better training camp of the two. If Keltner were to miss his first or even second field goal of the season on Friday night, do you see them quickly go to Zach Schmidt? I actually think that whole situation's pretty fascinating.
I wonder how itchy of a trigger finger Brent Venables and Doug Deacon will collectively have as far as making a switch if a switch needs to occur, because Muleshoe was real apathetic about it. The only time he really had to deal with a kicker controversy like that, if you'll recall, was in 2019 when Callum Sutherland started the year as the place kicker. He missed his first 2 attempts, was real shaky through the first, 3 games of the season, and everybody's sitting there going, Gabe Burkich, let's see it. Real highly regarded young kicker out of Chardon, Ohio, that the Sooners had just signed the previous year, and he was a redshirt freshman, and everybody was excited for Gabe Burkich. But Muleshoe kept giving votes of confidence to Callum Sutherland, and then I don't want to say I don't know if you want to call this fortunate, but he didn't really have any choice but to make the switch because then Callum Sutherland got arrested for domestic violence. So,
jeez. Ron Alito says the heat-seeking missile, a.k.a. Boganowski, is who I'm looking forward to seeing on Friday night. How about that? Like, he hasn't played in a game yet. I think he'll play on Friday night. But we already know enough about him and have already seen it in the spring game that people are, I don't want to just see Michael Boganowski. I want to see Michael Boganowski destroy someone like he did in the spring game.
Have I mentioned on air, have I brought up the fact that he knocked someone out during training camp?
I don't think so.
Yeah, straight up knocked him out, unconscious, slept him. I'm not going to say who.
Jackson Arnold?
It was not Jackson Arnold. I will confirm that it was not Jackson Arnold. But, yes, there was a point in training camp at which Michael Boganowski knocked one of the running backs out cold.
731, who would get what would get a louder response? The end of the third quarter, Toby Keith sing-along, or a made 50-plus yard field goal? Oh, OU's going to get fined and penalized if one of the two kickers makes a 50-plus yard field goal, because fans will rush the field and tear down the field goal post if there is a field goal made of 50-plus yards. So that is my response.
I consider it more likely that they would tear down the field goal post if they miss a field goal.
Well, either way, the goal post.
You're not even allowed to kick anymore. Touchdowns or bust.
Greg and Muskogee have not seen or heard anything about Makari Vickers. Is he still with the team, or is he just buried on the depth charts?
I'm sorry, who is that again?
Makari Vickers.
Makari Vickers. Yes, he is. He's been dealing with some stuff in fall camp. Still on the depth chart, yes. He'll play at some point. I don't know how much. It's a deep cornerback room. Eli Bowen's done some nice things.
You can quickly get buried on this depth chart, especially on the defensive side, man. I mean, it can happen quickly, especially in the defensive backfield, the way that they're recruiting right now. 405 says, Burks, we quickly forget his first time in a Sooner jersey. 3 touchdowns, absolutely electric. And, yeah, I said Javonte Barnes because I want to see it. I want to see the difference there. And I think that we've all watched enough football to see if Javonte Barnes looks like a different back than he did last year, regardless of the opponent. But is Deion Burke still in my top 3 or top 5? Yeah, not that I question what he is or what his role is. I know exactly what his role is going to be. They're going to throw it to him deep. They're going to throw it to him short. They're going to throw it to him over the middle. They're going to do anything and everything to get Deion Burks the ball. But I think that he is the most electric player that they have on offense. And, dude, I can't get enough of watching Deion Burks play football. That's how much fun I think he is. So I can't wait to see Six back out there.
Yeah, and I guess the question then becomes how much and for how long, how much of a leash do you give a guy like Deion Burks in non-con play? The same could be asked of Nick Anderson. But, with the depth that you have at receiver, I think there ought to be a ton of opportunities through the first 3 weeks to get guys like Brennan Thompson some solid runs. See if what you saw throughout the offseason is confirmed in actual game action. Or to maybe see what a younger guy like an Ivan Carrion has to offer in an immediate sense. Zion Kearney, even Jacob Jordan, who is a walk-on but not your average walk-on by any means. I think that given the reality that Oklahoma should be waltzing to victory in all 3 games that they will play on this non-conference slate, the wide receiver group is one where there should be a lot of diversity in terms of how the targets get distributed, because there's no real reason to throw the ball to Deion Burks 15 times against him.
There's not, unless you feel like, and I'm not saying that you should just, keep him out there for 4 quarters because you think he might be this type of player, or put him in some situations that he doesn't need to be in necessarily. But if you feel like he can be a guy, Parker, that can make a serious run at the Biletnikoff this year, and I'm not going to rule that out. I think that he's in the top 8 in terms of odds-wise to win the Biletnikoff this year. If you feel like he's that type of player, and I feel like he's that type of player, not that you leave him in for all 4 quarters, but maybe you leave him in for a drive or 2 longer than normal and get him some opportunities to pad the stats a little bit in situations like this.
A 918 listener says, I'm ready to see what a complete Brennan Thompson looks like.
So am I, man. So am I.
That has the opportunity to be a very fun addition and a very high-octane addition to this passing attack, man, because and you can tell, like I was out there last night, and I mentioned this last hour, but I was out there last night in the scrum with Brennan Thompson. He looks like a football player now. Like, you can tell he is a different dude than last year, just from a physical standpoint, because last year he looked tiny, man.
The voice does not match the body, by the way.
No, it does not.
No,
it does not.
And Brent even called. Did Brent use the word? Did he say frail? Yeah, I mean, whatever word he used. I mean, Brent was calling him a small dude yesterday. Then you hear Brennan talk. It's like, oh yeah, that didn't sound like one of the smaller guys on the team.
Yeah, but he sure ain't frail anymore, man. He's packed some muscle on that frame. He looks good. He looks like a football player.
Yeah, man. Again, he led all the wide receivers in receiving yards throughout training camp, so he's going to be a factor. And if Nick Anderson is not able to play, and even if Nick Anderson is able to play, I wouldn't guess that they would stress that too much against Temple.
Yeah.
All that to say, I think Brennan Thompson is probably going to play quite a bit on Friday, and I think he's going to have some opportunities down the field. So if you're looking like for a player to pop, maybe score a couple of touchdowns, I think that could be Brennan Thompson on Friday night potentially.
And keep in mind who led Oklahoma in receptions by a long shot in last year's opener. That was Jaquez Petaway. Maybe Jaquez Petaway is the guy that we're not talking about enough.
Maybe.
In terms of what he's going to do on Friday night.
Cherokee Sooners says, I'm ready for Peyton Bowen to return a punt for a touchdown. Yeah, that would be sweet. They returned a punt for a touchdown in the opener last year, so I mean, Gavin Freeman's going to have to score on his first touch at Oklahoma State this year. He's going to have to do that against the Jackrabbits on Saturday to make it 3 consecutive years.
Won't be happening. Oh,
you think the Jackrabbits will get him for a 2-yard loss
Not
instead?
against the Jacks. You run a jet sweep on the Jacks, that thing's
They're too much speed for South Dakota State, man. No way. You can't get sideline to sideline on those boys.
Sooner Judd says, I'm super excited to see Jaden Jackson manhandle some dudes. Gosh, imagine you're a poor 2-star junior college transfer of an offensive guard that landed at Temple University, of all places, and then you got to go up, the very first game, you got to go up against the first true freshman to start at defensive tackle for Oklahoma since a guy named Tommy Harris.
Well, what if he pulls a Tommy Harris on the very first play of the season and gets himself a TFL in the backfield? Will this fan base be able to contain themselves? Will they be able to handle it? If 65 in the middle of the defensive line gets a big TFL in the first play of the season,
what if he just?
I won't be able to.
What if he just grabs the center with one arm and grabs the left guard with the other arm and just ragdolls them both straight backwards into the ground?
Just give him the All-American award right now. Then, all right.
Hey, Dominic Williams said it. Dominic Williams said he's going to be an All-American. So, we'll see, Dominic. See if your word lives up.
Blue Sooner, first 3 games, OU 145 points to 35 opponent points, or is that giving the opponents too much? I think
that's probably a fair ballpark.
So I think Temple is going to score 0 on Friday.
So you're calling the shutout?
Let me just run back some recent scores for your Temple Owls over the past 3 years, like the better teams that they've played, okay?
This ought to be fun.
Last year they played Miami, and they lost 41-7. Last year they played SMU and they lost 55-0. 2022 they played Duke and they lost 30-0. 2022 they played UCF and lost 70-13. 2021 they played Rutgers and lost 61-14. Then they played top 5 Cincinnati in the same year and lost 52-3. Guys, Temple sucks. All right? Both sides of the ball, they're not any good. This should be a team that they shouldn't score more than 10 points. All right,
I gave them a
say
field
0.
goal. My score prediction yesterday was Oklahoma 52, Temple 3. I'm giving them a field goal.
I'll say 52, Neil. 52-0.
Okay.
Start the season off with the shutouts. But they're not any good. They're really bad. Temple and Maine. I mean, the 2 worst teams that you play all year long. And Temple, boy, when they played their better opponents the past 3 years, they've gotten completely embarrassed. Not a good team. All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. We'll get back to that. We'll get to more recruiting as well. Reminder,
Sooner fans, show your Sooner pride. Crafted for SEC competition. Every OU fan should own a piece of Sooner magic. Made in America, like it should be. Get your official on-field OU football today.
Hey Sooner Nation, join me Mondays at 7:45 a.m. and Thursdays at 4:45 p.m. exclusively on the Ref. Download the KREF app to listen from anywhere.
Company. Their fast, reliable, and professional staff have been serving the OKC Metro for over 28 years. Affordable Door Company is your one-stop shop for residential and commercial garage door service and replacement. Call them and tell them you want the ultimate maintenance for your garage door. You don't want to be stuck in your garage at game time, so give them a call at 405-635-9499 or visit them online at affordabledoor.com.
And are ready to make a change. Call Wade Electric at 405-329-1940 to hear about their benefits and learn how to join the team.
Discover a worry-free roofing experience with Kennedy Roofing, where you'll have a dedicated team with over 50 years of industry knowledge behind you. Tyler McComb is here proudly representing Kennedy Roofing, your go-to family-owned roofing experts located in the heart of OKC. Licensed and bonded in the state, they are committed to delivering top-tier service for projects large or small. Explore newroofok.com or call 405-704-3377 to secure your inspection today. Kennedy Roofing, where dedication to excellence starts and ends with their customers.
Hi Norman, it's DJ Newsom with Alliance Bank, your community-driven, friendly neighborhood bank. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur, lead a nonprofit organization, or just someone seeking a better banking experience, we've got you covered. From business to personal banking, we tailor our services to suit everyone's needs. We believe in making banking easy and enjoyable. Visit our Norman location or call us today at 405-286-5750. Alliance Bank, banking tailored to your needs. Member FDIC.
Hey everybody, Toby Rowland here, and make sure you circle August 30th on the calendar. Not only is that the opening day of the OU football season, but Sooner Athletic Director Joe Castiglione will be hosting the T-Row in the Morning Show. That's right, he's giving me the day off. Joe C., the boss, hosting the T-Row in the Morning Show with an incredible lineup of guests, and it is likely the biggest mistake of his illustrious career. Tune in August 30th, Joe C. hosting the T-Row in the Morning Show.
Attention Westwood season pass holders, we have a deal for you. You can start a free 30-day trial membership at the Young Family Athletic Center this August. Present your Westwood season pass at the WIFAC front desk and let the fun begin. Your 30-day trial starts when you redeem the offer, and you can enjoy all the basketball, pickleball, volleyball, and swimming you want for 30 days. Don't miss out. This exclusive deal is only available during August. Go to wifac.com to learn more about Norman's new state-of-the-art facility.
Love to fish and want to honor Toby's legacy at the same time? The Toby Keith Foundation is hosting the 6th annual Fish Bowl at Lake Eufaula on September 7th and 8th. Fish Bowl offers a guaranteed $33,000 in payouts, with all proceeds directly benefiting OK Kids Corral. For event details and registration, go to TobyKeithFoundation.org. As little as $100 per day gets you in the event with a chance to take home a great payout. Also, check out our electric golf cart raffle. Tell all your friends and make it the largest fish bowl ever.
Dorsey Jones Buick GMC in El Reno. Brady the Sour locked in with McComas and Thune. Dorsey Jones is family owned and operated, established in 2020. But many of their employees have been there for more than 20 years. They pride themselves on having the best service technicians and friendly service advisors that put your needs first. They also have half-price oil changes on Saturdays. It's Dorsey Jones Buick GMC in El Reno. Here is a nice recruiting pitch for OU in the 2025 class and beyond. The fact that they have the second most combined NFL earnings by school. Bama has the most at $539 million. Insane. OU has number 2. That really helps out CeeDee Lamb's new deal, right? Second most right now with $419 million. Isn't CeeDee Lamb making more alone than what Texas is right now? And all there?
Significantly more. Yes, significantly more.
Texas is at 25 on that list, by the way. OU's at number 2, LSU 4, Georgia 6, A&M 11. It's not the recruiting pitch, but it's a pretty good one. Getting guys in the league and getting them paid. I'd be throwing that out there, the 25, 26, 27 class, and I'm sure that they are. I'm sure that graphic's been making the rounds today. DeMarco's been texting everyone, that new graphic.
Gosh, that's going to become a running joke, isn't it? Something about DeMarco and text messages. I don't know what exactly it's going to be, but that'll become a meme.
I don't know what it's going to be either, but the text line is going to make it something. And Tattoo Baker's going to make it a meme, like I think that he already has a couple of times today. Okay, Floyd Boucard. Remember last week when we were getting all those texts like, hey, is OU's one of their defensive line commits, Floyd Boucard?
Yep.
He going to be in Gainesville for that Miami game, that Florida-Miami game this weekend? Well, we're a few days out from that. Is the feeling still that Floyd's not going to be doing the Gator Chomp this Saturday?
So Floyd is less of a concern as far as his propensity to visit around this fall than Cortez Mills is. If an OU commit decides to mess around with the visit policy a little bit,
be him?
It's probably going to be Cortez. Like, I'm just giving you that heads up now. Doesn't mean he doesn't sign with Oklahoma, but I will be interested to see how Emmett plays that. Because as we've seen in the past, it's not always like a we're done with you type of deal when a kid goes and takes another visit. But the staff has that conversation with him where it's, you know, they express to him, look, we no longer consider you committed. We're going to start recruiting for your spot in this class again. So is Cortez Mills going to be okay with that? Is he willing to risk his spot, especially when you know, and you better know, Emmett Jones, you know you got somebody on speed dial.
100%. Yep.
He's probably got multiple guys on speed dial. And to be fair, they also don't need to take five wide receivers.
No, but
They
I'd
can
really like to have
four.
Cortez Mills in this class. I think as would everyone. I mean, he's really good. Is he the best wide receiver that you have in this class? I mean, he's definitely in that mix, definitely in that discussion. You're right. If they lose out on Cortez Mills, they still have a very good recruiting class at wide receiver, but you'd rather have Cortez Mills in this class. He was a top 100 player for a reason.
Certainly. So you would hope that the Sooners can hang on to his pledge. 918 listener informing us that Nick Evers won the job at UConn.
Yes, he did.
Good
I believe
for
they
Nick.
play Maryland week 1, I want to say. Nick Evers versus Maryland week 1. Steven Jackson, you remember him?
Yeah.
Big-time running back for the then St. Louis Rams.
Yeah.
Former Oregon State Beaver. His son committed to Oregon State. He is a 3-star athlete. So
Is his name also Steven Jackson?
I think is it Steven Jackson Jr.? I
Is
think
it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is.
2-star Sooner Jet says, just go ahead and interview the new clock so it'll transfer out and we can go back to the normal
really,
clock.
Sooner Jets? I'm sitting right here. Unbelievable. I thought those jokes were going to go away. I guess not.
Oh,
Jeez.
here's a joke that no doubt you didn't forget about. A 405 listener said, was DeMarco texting under the name Spray Tan?
Yeah. Well, I did think about that a few minutes ago when we're talking about this becoming a thing, DeMarco texting. I'm like, I remember a certain situation involving Brennan Clay once upon a time. So, yes, nice reference. Reform Sooner. Kelvin Sampson tells DeMarco, hold my beer. A lot of Kelvin Sampson jokes and references today, and those are good. In case you missed it, DeMarco is suspended for a game, going to be the season opener, it sounds like. No unofficial visitors for OU this weekend, which, as we said at the top, is really not a big deal at all because they weren't scheduled to really have any unofficial visitors, outside of Malik Hawkins, Michael's little brother. And I didn't think that you really needed – I mean, Malik Hawkins is here to watch his brother play his first game.
He's not going
He's
anywhere.
committed. He's good, yeah.
Don't got to sweat that one. It's a Friday night at 6. How many kids are realistically making that game anyway?
I mean, if they're playing an actual football game, probably not very many. One of those guys, and I don't know if he's playing Friday night or not, but you got to see him last weekend. How did old Alex Shield Knight look?
He looks
last
great,
weekend?
man. He looks great. And a lot of people sleep on Shield Knight, and I guess it's, it has to do with the fact that he's an in-state guy. He's been committed for a long time. His measurables don't, jump off the page at you. But he's just a high-motor football player, man. And is it an old-school mindset? Maybe, but I'm of the belief that even in today's game, there is always a place, and there's always going to be a place for a guy that is just nastier than whoever he lines up opposite. And that's the case for Alex Shield Knight. He's got solid – I mean, he's probably 6'2". I would peg him around 6'2". He's in the neighborhood of 240, 245. So all in all, he's again, modest size for a defensive end, but man, he plays so mean. He is so relentless. He's got one of the best motors I've ever.
I was about to say high motor guy.
Seen.
That's what we're going to be saying about him his entire career.
Oh
huh?
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, but it's true though. Like you go watch him, that is the one thing that stands out about his play more so than anything else is he's playing both sides of the ball for Wagner. He pretty much never comes off the field, and on every single play, man. It's like his hair is on fire. He does not stop. He will be drenched in sweat by the second quarter every single time I've been out to see him, but he does not back down, ever.
Yeah. Okay, 405. Hey, guys, I'm going off topic, but is Drake still on the Rams? I'm searching for it right now on Twitter, and the deadline is in 4 minutes. It's in 4 minutes. So hopefully we hear that he made the 53 and he's on the roster. I know that he had 3 receptions on Saturday in their last NFL preseason game. Jordan Whittington, the former Longhorn, he had a really good training camp at wide receiver for the Rams. I'm going to guess that he makes the squad. So I honestly, I don't know enough about the situation out there, if Drake is kind of one of those borderline guys or not. I know he was playing a little special teams, but if nothing else, hopefully he at least makes the practice squad. Hopefully that's the case for Drake. But when we find that out, we'll let you know.
Gunny checking in to ask, Parker, did you find anything good at the Peach Barn at the intersection of 51B and Highway 69? Yes, I passed through the peach capital of Oklahoma on my way to Wagner, Tyler. Gunny's hometown, Porter, America. I stopped at the Peach Barn. I purchased some peach ice cream. It was delicious. I purchased a half a peck of peaches. They are still in the process of ripening to the point that I can eat them. So
that's a peck of peaches?
Yes, a peck of peaches. A half peck of peaches.
Not a full one.
I also purchased a jar of peach jalapeno jam.
Jeez, you buy half the store or what?
And I bought some fresh muscadine grapes.
You bought some grapes at the
muscadines.
Okay. All right, same. All under one roof. Which, by the way, Gunny was supposed to get us to the Porter Peach Festival.
Yeah, and he hasn't done it. He hasn't followed through. I'll go back out to Porter anytime, man. I spent like $40 at the Peach Barn. I'll do it again.
2 years ago, and that never happened. Big Sexy on the YouTube chat says, living in the Atlanta area, can't wait to be able to see my Sooners play closer to me. Awesome show, guys. Big Sexy, I am trying to do the show Friday in Atlanta before the Auburn game. I will let you know where that's at, but that is currently my goal right now. So, be fun if you could come out. Good time. Get some OU fans out in Atlanta to come out to the show on Friday. Go beat Auburn on Saturday, even though Jordan Hare is apparently cursed. We'll see about that. Their home loss record over the past few years hasn't been extraordinary. That loss to New Mexico State last year where they got destroyed at home doesn't look all that great either. Still waiting on Andrew Babalola for a date. Still just waiting on Babalola.
Wait.
Tell us when he's going to commit.
Wait.
I mean, what's the likelihood that this goes into October?
Not high. Not high. I think it's
it was wrapped up by September?
I think it's done before then. At this point, he's got to know. I feel like he's got to know, or at least have a strong sense from everything that I've heard and pieced together. It's just a matter of actually pulling the trigger on the decision now. The common denominator, as I said yesterday, still seems to be Michigan amongst all of the intel. So if I were handicapping the race right now, I would still have Michigan 1, OU number 2.
Well, maybe he'll see the Connor Stallions documentary and be really turned off of Michigan and make the call to go to Oklahoma. Apparently, there's a lot of people talking about the Connor Stallions documentary. Was that released last night, this morning? I've just been seeing a ton of people talk about it today. Apparently, Connor Stallions, man, he loved him some Michigan. Loved him some Michigan. We know about the manifesto that he had to be the head coach at Michigan someday, but God, he did all of this for his love of the university to try to get them a national championship.
And hey,
sounds
they got
like
a
you do it all
national
over again.
championship, and he got a Netflix doc. So, who's the real winner here?
The 2026 top player in the state of Oklahoma, according to Rivals. I know we're not done with the 25 class yet. We're getting towards the end of it. So we're not that far away from really starting to get in the 2026 class. But this is a name that I think that we're going to talk about a lot. At least I'm guessing that's the case. Because, all right, well, OU took 5 wide receivers this class. Would they take 5 wide receivers in every single class here moving forward? I would probably guess not. But you can never have enough depth on the defensive line. You can never have enough depth on the interior of the defensive line. And it looks as though you've got a top 250 player and a 4-star defensive tackle in your own state this year. Taj Overton, currently according to Rivals, is the number 1 player in state for 2026. 4-star out of Owasso, 6'3", 275 pounds. The number 168 player nationally. Got the OU offer. Also got a Texas offer, a Tennessee offer, an A&M offer, an Ole Miss offer, a Miami offer, and several others as well.
He's got a lot of offers. He is nationally coveted. It's not going to be easy to keep him home within state lines, but Oklahoma's got a very good chance to do some special things in the 2026 class within the state with the top guys, especially because they now have their quarterback committed in Jaden O'Neal. And if you got a Cali kid that bought into the vision that early on, how much easier is it going to be for an Oklahoma kid to buy into the vision and to be confident in committing to a program that got that was literally having to make a decision between a quarterback from California to build their class around and a quarterback from Orlando, Florida to build their class around?
I know we just got done saying last week that, proximity to schools matters maybe less now than it ever has. But it's still, it can still play a factor, especially a kid from your own state. And clearly this staff has shown that they can go outside the region to go get really good defensive line talent. They did it twice last year in the state of Florida at IMG. I know David Stone has Oklahoma ties, but Floyd Buchard, they have him committed. Trent Wilson, you have him committed from out in the Northeast as well. But still, man, at the same time, you got a 4-star defensive tackle in your state. Parker, they need to go get this guy. And I know that he's got some attention nationally across the SEC and elsewhere, but you got Taj Overton in your own state out of Owasso who could be a top 150 player nationally at a position like that. Go get Taj Overton. Go get him in this class.
Yeah, go get Taj Overton. Go get Caden Jones. Go get Mason James. To me, those are the 3 guys in the state that you want to be able to claim as your nucleus, if you will. And the centerpiece is always going to be the quarterback, and Jaden O'Neal is an awesome centerpiece. But that local nucleus matters so much and will always matter for Oklahoma because there are always going to be, every single year without fail, at least 3 or 4, sometimes substantially more, guys within state lines that are capable of playing high-end P4 football, and those are the guys that you want to keep home. And that Brent Venables, we know, wants to keep home.
1-star recruiting boomer says, just hope Ohio State doesn't offer that Owasso kid. Ohio State has come in states in the couple of times in the past decade, gotten a really highly rated player in states. Currently, they have Nate Roberts committed in states. But yeah, kick Ohio State out of the state. No more Buckeyes in the state of Oklahoma in this next cycle.
Wait, we got a Kendall text.
Dude, where's
Kendall texted us.
When's the last time he texted?
OU doesn't recruit Owasso talent. He has texted several times today. Previously, he texted once on August 12th, and before that, he hadn't texted since July.
Well, good to hear from you, Kendall. I hadn't texted during this time since July 29th. Good to hear from you. And, of course, he pops in with something negative about Owasso and OU not keeping Owasso talent in. What's Cole Adams doing? Is Cole Adams on the depth chart anywhere at Alabama?
That's how you summon Kendall. You just mentioned Owasso, and he's there.
Should have said Cole Adams in the first segment. Would have gotten a text from him. All right, the Rush coming up next, and I will tell you, slated to have a very special guest. 10 minutes from now. Right here on the Ref. We're the home of